Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be talking about SNSS. You'll find my previous DD in the description below if you'd like to watch that one after this one. Make sure to drop a like to help the algorithms for this channel. Subscribe and leave your notifications on. I'm going to go through technical analysis here and then news and what I think is probably going to happen for the stock. If at any point you feel you're missing out on the technical analysis, you'll find a playlist in the description describing each of the technical indicators I use as well as what they mean. So let's jump right into it. On the 1 month 1 day, you get to see here an MACD that is trading more of sideways. Nothing significant, it's almost all still very much around zero. So you get to see it did see a reversal here, negative reversal, and then a positive reversal and a negative, and then positive and negative, but nothing is happening to the price action here. On the ADX, it does suggest as well that there is more of a rough kind of movement where it's trading sideways. 20% R puts the stock at overbought. Quite interesting, and it doesn't really mean much to me, but it just tells me that if there was a correction, this one is going towards negative side rather than positive. That is really bearish. Now, on the momentum here, it seems that the stock is holding better momentum than it did on the 12th of August. Now, taking a quick look into the moving averages, you get to see here that the stock price is well below the 200 SMA in the blue line, and that is bearish. Below the 50 SMA, the purple line, 30 EMA is above 10 SMA, which is as well bearish. Now, the stock is in the trading action zone, but it's coming in from the bottom. So that means if a reversal is seen, it's going to be a negative reversal. Now, on the 1 hour perspective, we get to be able to trade it a little bit better. When we're talking about in the last 5 days, we see 30s and we see 20s. Low 30s, high 20s. So there might be a chance there where you can actually be trading it. The stock is on in the extended market. It looks a bit more bullish than it did previously. The stock price is above the 200 SMA. Purple line here, the 50 SMA is curving up, and you might actually get a golden star, which is a very bullish sign sometime next week. The stock price is above the VWAP. That is bullish. 10 SMA is above 30 MA. That is bullish here. And the stock is above the trading action zone. That means if it dips a little, it's most likely going to see a reversal upwards. And you get to see this is a little bit conflicting from what we just saw on the 1 day perspective. But the ADX here shows sideways. William percent R puts the stock oversold for a majority of the day. Momentum seems to be regaining, and the MACD seems to be curving downwards. So when we have conflicting information such as this, now you're thinking, well, Ed, you were bearish on the 1 day and bullish on the 1 hour. And that's true. So what does that tell me is that there is ability to day trade this one on an intraday scale, but at the end of the day, it's trading sideways. So you're just flipping pennies. In this case, though, flipping pennies is not that bad because each penny is around 3%. You get to see on the moving average band here, the stock price is expected to trade between 0.26 and 0.29 on the lower band. Sometimes it does break that and moves up to the upper band. The upper band is around 0.3 to 0.32, and it's here in CN. Unbalanced volume, you get to see a gradual increase on unbalanced volume. And on the charts, on the Fibonacci retracements, I'm going to do this one here quickly. A significant resistance is at the 30 cents. And we're going to do here something that I have been finding out to work out really nicely. 161 goes to 42. Or at 28, and resistance at 30 is still there. Now, significant supports and resistances. I'm going to go through the 3 months 1 day perspective for this one. I'm going to say 28 is a significant one. 29 is a good support, but a really strong resistance would be the 30 and the 31 mark. After the 31 mark, it has room to grow. Talking, well, there is 32, a little bit around there, not a significant. And then 33, there's a doji star over here. And then above that, what we're seeing is 35, 36, a little bit of resistance all the way to 38, and then there's a really nice gap there you can jump on. Although I don't see this one without such news that would get it. Now, quickly looking into the 6 months 1 day, no significant results. I mean, it does kind of straight sideways and then drop. It rallies up and then drops, and then continues on. So now let's go on towards news, right? Why is it trading this way? Why is it not moving up, right? Cool. So taking a quick look into their financials. Now, there is 2 things or next steps that are really good for PR. I'm going to go up as well and mention another one. Completing trial with phase 1B for the activity in the BTKI resistant patients insufficient for phase 2 in this population. Prime, basically, they do have two different things in their pipeline still moving on right on here. Other than partner programs, you got the PDK1 for the SNS 510, that's going on to phase 1. And B-Cell 1 BTK is going on from phase 1 to phase 2 sometime soon as well. So those are positive catalysts. Now, they did have to reduce the workforce way back in July 7th in order to have sufficient cash until second quarter of 2021. So that is good news. When it comes towards revenues and 10Q, of course, this stock hasn't had any revenue yet. So revenue is nil. Their loss from operation is around 6.3 million. Their net loss is around there, 6.4, and an EPS of a negative 0.06. Now, in terms of comparing it from last time, it's basically almost the exact same, just the number of shares has doubled. Now, another thing that I want to talk about that is very important, and I'm going to go through that just after looking into institutional shares. Institutional shares, nothing significant. I mean, these are more funds than anything. Any significant names? BlackRock is still on here. They decreased a little bit their shares, around 10%. The rest is more off. I see more decreasing of institutional shares rather than increasing, except for Jane Street Group over here. Moving on, compliance, the biggest thing that you can hear nagging on, right? All right, so compliance, and I'm going to read this one quickly here. Our common stock listed at Nasdaq, yada yada yada, to maintain $1 for 30 consecutive days. We received a notice of this form, basically qualifying on July 9th, 2019. They gave us until January 6th, 2020. Requested an extension. They received 180 until July 6th. And basically until a recent Nasdaq rule change, our compliance was further extended to September 18th. All right, so they had 3 different deadlines. This is the 3rd deadline. Compliance needs to be met by September 18th. Cool. Now, let's see some of the fine lines in here. So 2 and 2 shares can be combined. 2 to 12 can be combined. So basically a reverse split happening here. It's still to be determined by the board of directors, and it's so they didn't say per votes of shareholders. If we do not regain compliance before September 18th, we'll determine the final exchange ratio will affect the reverse split. However, there can be no assurance after effecting a reverse split. The company will maintain all applicable Nasdaq listing standards. Yeah. So what is another thing there? Yeah. So basically, they need to maintain their compliance, or they need to regain compliance, not maintain it. Cool. September 18th, right? As of today, I'm recording this one on August 29th. So it is on the weekend, to August 29th. So the next trading session is August 31st. That's one day. Remember, you need to maintain above $1 for 1 day, for 10 days. Don't forget, September 7th is the Labor Day, and that Nasdaq market is closed. A lot of people forget that. So you got Monday. What's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You got 13 trading days, 14 if you count the 18th. That means a reverse split is most likely going to be seen this week, if not latest by Monday next week. Although I really feel that there is a reverse split coming in this week. So how would I play this, right? Now, if you're holding this one, I would really consider selling, because the chances are a PR off news is not going to get this one to jump out magnitudes higher, to go above $1. The news that we're waiting for is not, most likely will not see $1 just out of news. So my gut is telling me a reverse split is coming. You need to sell, even if you believe in this company. There's no harm of shorting your own position. Basically, you sell and then you buy it after people panic. That's normal. Now, I wouldn't touch this except maybe after the reverse split, after the regain compliance, like after September 18th. But I also play both sides of the game. I'm fine buying options like puts or shorting a stock. short selling a stock. Now, given that this stock is able to be shorted because a lot of stocks out there are hard to borrow, but there is also interest rate. So buying puts is a bit more safer on this one. Now, what if I have a position, right? I would consider selling at the next spike as soon as it hits the 30s. I did mention the resistances a little bit earlier, and I do understand. Okay, Ed, we're in a COVID time. Maybe they'll get an extension, but remember that extension is the one that they got because of COVID for September till September 18th. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Please make sure you leave a feedback on the comments below. If you would like to change anything about these kind of videos, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think about the sticker. Have a wonderful day.